being born within a border town, being a 200%er, and especially with two worlds that constantly collide because I'm here within Texas, I have to stop and ask myself, where do I fit within my own narrative, within my own story? This is the question as to how you navigate throughout the world. Imagine this. An 8th grader walks into his classroom. Chatter goes in and out of the classroom until mi maestra dice, everyone, I have the permission slips for this year's field class. Yet, they're all in Spanish, which isn't a problem for the majority of you. But if you're gonna want it in English, then you're gonna have to wait for tomorrow. Single file, everyone. To which the boy merely gets up and waits in line like everybody else. Yet as he takes the packet, he just takes it despite his teacher's confused face. He goes back to his desk and signs where he needs to be. Yet he's interrupted by a tap on the shoulder. Why did you grab the Spanish packet? Porque mis padres entienden español. He didn't think that this would be such a problem. His parents are Hispanic and no Spanish, so no hay problema, ¿verdad? Yet, even as he's asked this question, he's never felt so uncomfortable in his life. And so the next comment that comes is probably the thing that makes him question himself the most. Oh, it's because you don't look Mexican. This is where I find myself stuck, isolated, because to other people, to himself, he will always be stuck between his two worlds. Despite being blessed with un apellido fuerte, buena comida, telenovelas, y mucho más, he will always be stuck in between. According to Pew Research Center, this is surprisingly the experience many others feel on a daily basis. 24% of Hispanics are treated among the American society as discriminated or treated unfairly. 22% were harassed for speaking Spanish in public. And 20% were told to go back to their home country, while 16% were called offensive names. As the record shows, in 2021, there was an estimated 60 million Hispanics living within the US. And yet, by the year of 2050, there will be an estimated 90 million Hispanics. Yet, we make up 1 in 5 of the US population. But how is it that we're so rarely casted in lead roles on television? Why are we not allowed to see ourselves? In all these telenovelas, you see many Hispanic actors and actresses. Yet, I noticed a very saddening and frequent pattern as a child. The television merely showed white passing actors and actresses, while people who were dark-skinned actors were given the stereotypical maid, gardener, cartel, villain, or antagonist. This is also especially shown in American television, where only 2% of Latinos are casted as protagonists or lead role. Yet, despite all these circumstances, when I go to my grandma's house, it's a total culture change. Here I am sitting on a couch, covered in my grandma's San Marcos. The smell, pozole, menudo, un ponche calientito. Viendo telenovelas por La Rosa de Guadalupe. Y mis padres trabajando con mis abuelos. Me siento identificado con mi gente. Even now, I feel comfortable. yet it's not something I'm able to communicate with. At just 13 years old, I was able to apply for a grant that was $10,000, in which I noticed that I would be able to empower my small minority and give them a chance for their voices to be heard, for them to be seen, for them to have that chance to finally embrace themselves and finally show themselves to the world. Out of 5,000 essays, my club's essay was chosen out of all the state of Texas, despite Texas being the #2 largest state within the US. With this, I was able to hold and organize a conference that was able to show, that was able to give people the access and knowledge to finally connect with each other, with no hatred being shown, with there no being any physical border between them. And with this, even so, my people were able to finally talk. My two worlds were finally colliding with each other. My conference was able to get that much attention from 2 news outlets, one from nationwide and the second from local. Yet, this wasn't the attention that I had wanted. It wasn't the attention that I had received from the people I needed it the most. The people I needed it the most were from my family, from my friends. Because arguably, your family and your friends are your biggest support system in life. And I agree with it. Yet, even as I navigate through myself and my own identity, I look, I question, and I ask myself, is this the things about how I would like it for it to run? Is this how I want my society to be treated? Is this how I want to live? And even so, I wouldn't be able to talk to my grandparents about it because it wasn't something that they ever envisioned for me. What they envisioned for me was an American and English education, yet it's at the cost of not being able to communicate with them. It's at the cost of not being able to build that relationship. Of course I'll still be their grandkid. Of course I'll still be their grandson. Someone that they hold close as family. Yet, I could only stitch together their own story. I will never know their story, and they will never know me or mine. And even so, what's saddening is that I have to accept that they may pass away before knowing all the accomplishments I've made. Why am I making all these accomplishments without receiving the attention from the people I needed it the most? And even with this, I question myself. Why am I even doing this in the first place? But yet, I always remember that these are for the people, for my peers, for my extended family, for my friends, for my community. But yet, my family will never be able to understand. And even so, we will always be rejected by the United States, Estados Unidos, as we live here, as we continue to exist. And even so, here I am. I'm still here. Surprisingly, I'm still here. I'm not going to go away anytime soon, because I still have many things to accomplish. I still have many things to achieve and help. And even further on, it's like having a puzzle, yet missing that last piece. We aren't able to connect with the lack of representation that we have, the lack of representation that doesn't allow minorities to be seen. We all need to be that metaphorical puzzle piece in life and give minorities and each other a light to be shown. a place to be seen, a world where there won't be as much discrimination as there is. We have to be the change that we want. You have to be the change that you want in order to finally live. It's not enough to only care. It's not enough to only think about what could have or should have been done. And it's definitely not enough if this is how we've been living as a society. And it's definitely not enough to just merely coexist anymore. We all need to live.